Hey, how's everyone doing? I know it has been a while since you guys have heard from me last. I've been on a little hiatus slash vacation. Last Friday, of course, was my birthday. I turned 51, and I gotta say, I feel good. I'm looking good. At least I think so. I know there's a few folks out there that might say otherwise, but hey, what do they know? What do they know? So I took some time off just to relax, and I felt myself being stressed out. And, I always tell you guys when you get to that point where you can feel the stress coming on, the frustration, and you just got to know when to just take a break, just sit down and relax. That's exactly what I did for my birthday. I really didn't do too much of anything. You might call me an old man. I mean, I really just relaxed all weekend long, but I took some time off from work, took some time off of This Is Just a Thought, which is my second job. I wish wholeheartedly it could be my first job, to be honest with you, but hey, things don't work out like that. There are a lot of bills that need to be paid, and kids, of course, to be taken care of. Hey, those kids are about grown now. Maybe it's time for them to venture out on their own. Pay their own damn bills. No, I won't say that. I won't say that. But yeah, I took some time off. Hey, I enjoyed myself. I just relaxed. I went to a little festival here in Durham. I really didn't do anything major, like go out of town, or go out clubbing or anything. Clubbing is really not my thing. It never was my thing. I gotta admit. And now at 51, I just don't see the need of going out to the club like some folks do, which is I'm completely fine with. If that's your bag, that's your bag. Just isn't my bag. Never really has been my bag. So yeah, I just found me some places to go right here in town and just relax. Like I said, I went to this festival here in Durham called Centerfest, which is a celebration of the arts. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Had a very relaxing, calm, cool time. The weather here was wonderful this past week, even though now it's raining. We're getting so much rain that's coming in. Really not coming from that tropical depression slash uh, hurricane that they're forecasting is coming later on this week down there around the Gulf, coming up through Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, and all that. That rain is not coming from that. It's coming from another pressure. But man, we're getting ready to get hammered by rain. It was raining this morning, man. It was raining cats and dogs, is the expression. And they're saying we're going to get some more of that. But the temperature has been, man, it's been wonderful in the 80s. And what they're saying is, of course, Sunday, by the way, was the first day of fall. And they're saying by this weekend, we're going to get some more rain, slight chance. And the temperatures are going to be pretty mild in the low 70s to 80s. I'll take it. I'll take it. Like I said, I'm glad the summer's gone. Those 100-degree plus days were not my bag. Were not my bag. But like I said, this is going to be very short. I wanted to come up here and talk to you guys for a second, rap to you guys, especially about what's been going on. A lot has been going on since I have been away from This Is Just a Thought. Man, the wheels just keep spinning. I keep getting all this material. I can't make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. But yeah, a lot has been going on. Hey, I'll even get started. Hey, the NFL. I got to start with some football. Week 3 is in the books, man. Hey, it just is. The Eagles defeated the Saints. The Saints couldn't put up those 40 points like they did the previous 2 weeks with the Panthers and the Cowboys. They only mustered 12 points and they lost. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated them 15-12. That was a good game. I did watch that. Of course, I watch me some football, and it was a pretty good game. Really surprising that the Saints couldn't move that well. That Eagles defense, they really stepped up, and it showed. 15-12 was the final score, and the Vikings defeated the Texans. The Vikings are undefeated. They're 3-0 behind Sam Darnold. The vet has showed up, and he's looking pretty good. I got to say, do I think the Vikings are going to go far? No, but they're still looking good. They beat up on the Texans 34-7. Man, I don't know what happened to C.J. Stroud. That Vikings defense, maybe they're the reincarnation of the purple people eaters. And if you know about the Vikings, you know about the purple people eaters. And that defense won't to be played with. It won't to be played with. But they're looking pretty good this year. The Broncos, they defeated the Buccaneers 26-7. And oh God, Green Bay Packers defeated the Tennessee Titans 30-14. You know, Justin Love is out. The backup Willis is in. He's looking pretty good. And I'm wondering, I really haven't researched, or I can't really tell. I wonder if he was there when old Karen Rogers was there. Yeah, I called him Karen Rogers. I wonder if he was there when Karen Rogers was there also, because he looks pretty poised, very reminiscent. Like I said, if you guys remember, I told you about Justin Love. He studied up under Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers. Don't want to offend anyone. Karen Rogers. Studied up under Karen Rogers, and he was poised. And now this guy Willis, he looks poised too. So I'm wondering if he was the third string behind Justin Love when Rogers was there, because he looks good and he's moving the ball. He's has the Packers looking good. You know, at one point in time, I got to be honest with you, when Love went down, it was looking pretty dismal, but he stepped up. So maybe he's that dude too. It's always good to have good backups. I gotta say, it's always good to have good backups. And the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the San Diego Chargers 20-10. Steelers are 3-0, right up there with the Vikings. Steelers quarterback is Justin Fields, former Chicago Bears quarterback. Apparently, you know, like I said, if you guys have heard me talk about that little Justin Fields trade, I said then, and I'm saying it now, I knew it was going to finally show that Justin Fields was a fairly decent quarterback. He just needed to be in the right system. It's not a pocket quarterback like that, fellas. We know this. That's what made him famous in college. He wasn't a pocket quarterback. He moved around. But, I mean, I get the premise. Like I've said, what the Bears were trying to do, they were trying to make him a pocket quarterback. Didn't work out. So they sent him over to Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they're 3-0, and he's looking pretty good. You can have a pocket quarterback all you want. There's nothing wrong with a pocket quarterback, nothing wrong with a scrambling quarterback. But you got to have an offensive line if you want that pocket quarterback. The Bears never invested much in that offensive line, very much so like they have done this year, once again, because they're 0-3. They got defeated by the Indianapolis Colts 21-16. Caleb Williams doesn't look so good. Now, everybody's blaming him. And I myself chimed in a few times right up in this third game. I said, man, what is wrong with this guy? I got a chance to sit down and look at some highlights, and now I know what the problem is. It's mirrored. Right up there with Justin Fields. No offensive line. The guy can't get anything done. He can't set up anything. Can't stay in the pocket. He's got to move out of the pocket. So all the acquisitions the Bears made in the offseason, they didn't do anything with that offensive line, and it's showing. One particular play where Caleb Williams got sacked, hammered. 4 damn offensive linemen were on the ground, looking back at him getting lit up. For the life of me, I can't understand what the Bears organization is doing. They're pretty pathetic, if you ask me. They just are. They just are. Whatever the case may be, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0. The Chicago Bears are 0-3. And Justin Fields is leading the charge for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin. Guy hasn't had a losing season since I don't know when. And I don't think he's going to have a losing season this year. Will we see the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs? Yeah, we will. Will we see the Chicago Bears in the playoffs? No. Unless the good Lord himself comes down to touch that team. Once again, the Bears ain't going to no damn playoffs. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. All right, moving along here, man. Hey, the Miami Dolphins, they were defeated by the Seattle Seahawks. Yep. Tua's out. Another concussion. If you saw the footage of Tua when he took that hit, once again, he seized up. His arms locked up. If you remember that from a year ago, when he was playing the Patriots and he got that hit and he, you know, Because laying on his back with his arms up, locked, same thing happened again. Many are saying, of course, it may be time for him to just call it quits. I would love to stay. I would love to for him to stay and play. I would love to see him play, but like I said earlier, with me and stress, with Tua and these concussions, you got to know when to call it, man. It ain't working out for you. Is it the Miami Dolphins and their offensive line? Yeah. But at the same time, man, you keep getting these concussions. This is tearing your body apart. I don't know if he has a family. He's a fairly young man, but I'm sure at some point in time you're going to want a wife and kids. You got to think about that. Just do think about that, man. But yeah, pray for Tua. They're saying that there's a chance that he may come back, but I just don't know. I don't think he should. I think he should call it. I think he should call it. I just do, man. And a surprise, Carolina Panthers defeated the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, 36-22. Panthers finally got them one. I thought they were going to go 0-3 also, but looks like they have won one game. So hats off to the Carolina Kittens. And man, what is going on with San Fran? They lost. They lost to the Rams, the LA Rams, 24-27. What is going on with San Fran? Everybody's hurt. Everybody's out. And it's showing. It is showing. And ending, yeah, you know I'm going to talk about them. You know I'm going to talk about them because they are lighting up the airwaves. The Dallas Cowboys were defeated by the Baltimore Ravens 28-25. Boy, that Cowboys defense. At one point in time, that Cowboys defense was hell on any and everybody they came across. And we thought, last season they were hell on them. That defensive line, that secondary, everybody was saying, hey, this is it. The Cowboys might have something. They signed Dak to that multi-million-dollar deal. They signed CD Lamb at the last minute also. And I'm looking like many of their fans. I'm looking like, well, what in the world? You guys are horrible. That defense is horrible. They can't stop a cold. They can't. They are horrible. Dak Prescott, wow. You paid that guy all this money. He ain't looking too tough. Cowboys are looking horrible. They beat Cleveland week 1, and they have lost the last 2 games. The Saints put up 40-some-odd points up on them. Man, what is going on in Dallas? Hey, is this still your year? Are you guys still Super Bowl bound, baby? Nope. Guys ain't going nowhere. Y'all ain't going to make the playoffs this year. You just aren't. You just aren't. You're not. You're not. And, we had Monday Night Football last night, of course. The one game that really surprised me was the Washington Commanders and the Bengals. Washington Commanders won 38-33, and they look pretty damn good with that rookie quarterback, Daniels. That guy won't miss him. He was making the reads. He knew when to throw the ball away. He knew when to opt out for the short passes when the longs weren't there. He was looking like a vet. Could this be an old reminiscence of the Washington, Redskins at that time of old? Could be. These young players, a lot of these young players in the NFL that came in as rookies, they're looking pretty good. I got to say. And then there, of course, Monday night we ended with that was the first game was really the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills won 47-10. They put 47 points on the board. Josh Allen was looking good. He was firing on all cylinders. But that's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. We know what they're going to do. They're going to flop. They're going to flop. They just are. I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it. It ain't gonna last for long, folks. It ain't gonna last for long. Don't get yourselves, you Buffalo fans, don't get yourselves all worked up and thinking this is it. You're finally going to do something because you ain't. Josh Allen is going to flop like he always does. Just do. And hey, and one more game from Sunday I got to talk about before I call it quits with this part. The Kansas City on again, off again Chiefs defeated the Atlanta Falcons 22-17. When I say the Kansas City Chiefs are on again, off again, Patrick Mahomes and company, uh, the first two games, but more specifically that second game they played last Sunday, not this Sunday that passed, but last Sunday. Uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the last second, last ditch effort that they won the game. Things came into play. They got beat. And this past Sunday against the Falcons, they were able to show a little bit of fight and whatever, what have you. But then that's Kansas City. In their past, their last Super Bowl win last season, their football season, the season wasn't too great. They were on again, off again. They were winning by small margins, and now it appears to be the same way. But whatever the case may be, the Kansas City Chiefs won. They beat up on the Falcons. The Falcons the previous week, they looked pretty good, I gotta say. But they didn't look so tough this week. They did not. They did not. So that's the end of my little football spiel, man. Week 3, like I said, is in the bag. I think the season is going to be pretty good if the Chicago Bears can just figure out something. I would love to say if they can figure something out, but I don't think they're going to figure anything out because, like I said, they haven't put any money, any time, any talent on that damn offensive line, and it's showing once again. Caleb Williams can't get anything going because every time he looks up, somebody's in his face. And like I said, that one play, many plays, but that one play in particular, he was trying to scramble, trying to set something up, trying to stay in the pocket. He jumped out. Before he knew it, he was overwhelmed because 4 of his offensive linemen were laying on the ground looking at him, getting lit up. So I don't see the Bears going anywhere. I'm calling it, yeah. Third game into the season, I'm calling it. It's not going to work. It's just not. All that talent they have on that squad, like I always say, they do this every single year. They do this. And then season starts, nothing. Goose eggs. They're 0-3. They are 0-3. The rest of the NFC North is looking pretty good, I got to say. You know, the Lions, they're looking good. You know, Detroit Lions, they are that squad, and they're looking good. Minnesota, like I said, is undefeated. Green Bay is winning without Love. The Bears at the bottom, dead last, 0-3. Boy, I have no words. I have no words. They're about as bad in my eyes as the Dallas Cowboys. Those two should just call the whole season and just sit on the couch and drink beer and look at football because it's obvious you guys need to be looking because you ain't playing. I don't know what you guys are doing. You shouldn't even suit up. Like the old brings back the mind of the old high school coaches when I was playing. When you played horrible, the coach would tell you, "Hey, take my damn helmet off, take my pads off, get off my field." Maybe that's what the Bears need, a coach like that. Now, will Chicago Bears coach Eberflus, or however you say his name, will he last through the season? I think he needs to go. Will Dallas Cowboy coach, I can't rightly remember his name, will he last through the season? He needs to go. Because Cowboys, you guys did nothing in the offseason as far as getting personnel in. You just held out to the last minute to pay off Dak Prescott, who may need glasses because he's throwing interceptions like it's nobody's business. You think with all those millions, what was it, 240 million over however many years, you would think, over 4 years, I believe, you would think he would go ahead and invest in some glasses. I mean, if you need glasses, man, you need glasses. They have some pretty good sports goggles now. You don't have to wear those old bulky things anymore. Either you can't read a defense or you can't see. Which is it? Which is it, man? Because you're throwing the damn ball right to the defender. Your receiver's nowhere near there. And you can't. The old excuse that the receiver cut the route short. No, 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 no. Nobody cut no route short. You just can't damn read a defense. Or you're blind. Partially blind. Get you some glasses. Get you some glasses. And by the way, Thursday night, the Cowboys are going to be playing the New York Giants. That's going to be a great NFC East matchup. Giants, I believe they won. I believe they got them one this week. They pulled one out, or last week, I should say. I think they lost this week. So there's going to be a good NFC East matchup this Thursday. Will the Cowboys win? Giants might get them a W. I don't think the Cowboys are going to win. I think the Giants are going to beat them. I really do. If you've been paying attention, that the Cowboys defense, like I said, they can't stop a cold. And Dak Prescott, can't stop throwing damn interceptions. The frustration is setting in for CD Lamb. Lamb he's frustrated with him. You can tell by his body chemistry. He's pissed. As well he should be. Same thing with Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, DJ Moore. He's pissed off at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a rookie. He is making some rookie mistakes. But I see it, the majority of his problem is that offensive line. Can't make miracles happen without an offensive line if you're a quarterback. Can't even get set up to read the defense, to see what you need to do. Because the defenders are in your face. About to put you on your you-know-what. About to put you on your you-know-what. And it's showing. So I keep you guys updated on that. NFL, hey, I'm going to continuously watch. I love it. I love it. I love it. Football season. You guys know, you know, you know. All right, let's move along here. Like I said, this is going to be short. I'm going to get out of here. Man, I apologize. I talk so much about football. The main thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is what's going on here in North Carolina with our gubernatorial race. And the candidate, or one of the candidates, if you've been watching the news or you've been watching your social media feeds, it ain't looking so good for Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, Republican Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, and his gubernatorial run. It may have just hit rock bottom for him. Now, we all know the problems and woes and troubles he's had. If it ain't nothing but from just the incendiary comments he's made from time to time. And then we all know about his business endeavors with the daycare and the nonprofit that was supposed to be feeding kids, with these after-school programs or before and after-school programs that they found out that they were him and his wife were funneling money. Then the daycare, it was in such bad conditions, it had got several state citations from not having the right documentations for its workers, and power even getting turned off. But now, according to a CNN report that was released last Thursday, wow, man, what in the world do you have going on, homie? Somehow, some way, they have discovered CNN and its top-notch, hard-nosed, fair and balanced, or was that Fox Fair and Balanced? Whatever the case, these news networks ain't fair and balanced. You can tell that you can tell which side they lay on. Let's just say that. Well, according to this new CNN report that came out last Thursday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, apparently the good lieutenant governor several years ago was on a porn site. Now, ain't nothing wrong with being on a porn site. Hey, we've all done it. We're all grown. We're all adults, whether male or female, white or black, gay or straight. Everyone at one point in time, some point in time in their life, somewhere down the road, you hopped over on a porn site. No problems, as far as I could see. So when they said he was on the porn site, I was like, okay, and what? So what? Apparently, the good lieutenant governor So on the porn site, still continuing to spread incendiary comments, still spewing out little rough and rugged hatred. So much so, he called himself a black Nazi. Yeah, you heard me right. This fool on the porn site, chat board. Why? Who gets that involved? I mean, well, side note, side note. When I go on a, yeah, I do. I go on porn sites. But when you go on a porn site, are you really in the on the little chat board? Are you leaving comments? Is that what we doing? Well, this guy he left some type of statement, calling himself a black Nazi, along with some other incendiary comments and remarks and regards he's made, and CNN called him out about it. Now, of course, he's denied it. He said, "Hey, that's not true. That's not me. They're lying. They're pulling things out. They're trying to damage my character because they know I'm doing so well." Well, he really wasn't doing that well before this story came out, and it's getting even worse for you because you're dropping further and further down in the polls. At one point in time here in North Carolina, the race between him and Attorney General Josh Stein was neck and neck, with maybe quite possibly a slight edge to him. But it ain't so no more. I think folks are fed up with him, whether Democrat or Republican. Speaking of Republicans, because there's been a GOP governors group that has pretty much said flat out they aren't going to be sponsoring or monetarily sponsoring any more of his ads because they flat out said, hey, it's a done deal. He's not going to win North Carolina. Now, GOP or Republican members here in North Carolina have started to distance themselves from him also. I told you guys a few months back about the state treasurer Falwell, who was really hoping to be governor, lead the GOP in the governor's race. He had already said that he didn't think Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson was a good fit. He was too boisterous. Really didn't know where he stood on the issues. Well, we know where he stands with porn. We really do. We know where he stands with porn, if nothing else. So he has came out, of course, rapidly. As soon as that broke, he came out and I won't say he said I told you so, but he just reiterated his point and his stance and how he felt the GOP here in North Carolina really shouldn't have went with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. So you have a gubernatorial group, a governor's group, national governor's group that at one point in time endorsed him, and you have former state treasurer Falwell, who was hoping to be governor of North Carolina for the GOP. And last Friday or Saturday, former President Donald Trump came to North Carolina, held a campaign rally in Wilmington, didn't invite the good lieutenant governor. In fact, the lieutenant governor was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, trying to gather and garner some vote and support. So now it looks like former President Donald Trump is backing away from him. And former President Donald Trump is coming back to North Carolina this week, and I don't think there's been any talk about Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson being at the rally. It's looking bad for you, Lieutenant Governor. Why? What in the world? Like I said, we're all adults. We all visit porn sites. I know some of you Bible thumpers out there are going to say, I don't do that. And that's your right. But being on a porn site really ain't that bad. But for you to get up there and get in the message boards, the little chat room, and talking about you're a black Nazi, what in the hell is going on with you, man? Boy, you ain't starting to look bad, but some things are starting to show that I think has a lot of voters, Republican voters, are now questioning whether or not they should support you. And I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think he's going to win that governor's race here in North Carolina. I think it's done. I won't say it's because of this. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the nails in his coffin. Um, but here recently, within the past 1 or 2 months, if you're here in North Carolina, you know there's been a bevy of ads that had came out, in which they're taking bits and pieces of his incendiary remarks as it relates to women's rights, reproductive rights, and other issues. And and then he was somehow or another he was at a church somewhere where he said that he had some AR-15 for the government because they've gotten too big for their bridges, and he's gonna pretty much shoot them in the hind parts. And then he's at another church somewhere where he's saying that some people deserve to be killed. One point in time, former President Trump called him. He compared him to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Mm-mm. No, no, no. And that's a hell no for me. I don't see anything remotely close to you being like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King outside of your skin color. That's it. I don't. I haven't heard anything where you're unifying people or you're calling to the forefront the miscarriage of justice or equal rights for anyone. Well, besides the conservatives, but I don't see anything remotely close that says, "Hey, he's the next Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King." Not sure where that came from with President Trump, but then again, it's a continuation of President Trump's statements that make no sense whatsoever. And that one didn't. But it looks like former President Trump is distancing himself also from the good Lieutenant Governor. Wow, man. At one point in time, when he first started, I said to, you can go back to some of my other podcasts. I said it was very refreshing to hear a candidate that actually spoke his mind and stood by what he said and wouldn't, backtrack in order to garner votes or whatever or what have you. At that time, I said he seemed pretty. Everything I said at this point, I gotta think again because nothing you're saying or doing at this point is saying you're that politician that stands by his word and is true to what he is. Maybe this is who he is. Maybe, hey, like your parents used to tell you, hey, sometimes you got to shut your mouth and just let folks talk themselves into that proverbial corner. And he appears to have talked himself into that proverbial corner because I don't think he's going to get this election. There's even been talk of finding another candidate to run for governor, just like the national campaign for president with the Democrats. Will the Republicans do the same? Probably not. I just think it's too late. We have one more week in September. Then there's October, and elections are in November. It may be too late. It just may be. But like I said, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson has denied the allegations, and he's came out and he said, "Hey, I'm going to sue CNN for slander." Buddy, I think they have the proof because when that came out about him being on that porn site and that message board or chat room, I said, well, how in the world do they know it was him? Apparently, it was linked to his email, an email that he still uses, by the way. So that's what they did. I guess they ran that email and found out he had been on this porn site talking trash, looking foolish. You can only spew, I said the same thing about former President Trump, because former President Trump has had another assassination attempt. This time at his Mar-a-Lago golf resort. His Secret Service detail was there with him. He wasn't supposed to be there, by the way, but somehow, some way, hey, he decided, hey, I want to play a few rounds of golf. He went out to play a few rounds of golf, and one of the agents spotted a barrel of a gun sticking out of some bushes. And well, they caught the guy, by the way. He didn't get him some big shootout with the police. So they caught this guy. He admitted to it. He said, yeah, that was the purpose. I was there. I was trying to assassinate former President Trump. He's had they did the little background or whatever. Very, which brings me back to my original point, what I was going to say about Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. You can only talk so much and only spread so much hatred before it comes back on you. And that's what has happened to him. All of that talk he's made against the LGBTQ community, women's reproductive rights, Black Americans, all of that he has spewed and said, those incendiary comments, and you're on a porn site calling yourself a black Nazi. You're a whole fool. You're a whole fool. You can only spread so much hatred and ignorance till it's really revealed how ignorant you are. And that appears to be what has happened with the good Lieutenant Governor. I don't think he's going to win this election. I know he's not going to win this election. When folks in your own political party start distancing themselves from you, it's a wrap. Call it. Step down. Step aside graciously. You're not going to win this election. You're just not. There's no way, no how. All right, I stayed up here longer than I really and truthfully wanted to. Like I said, I just wanted to come up here for a while and rap to you guys. Haven't talked to you in a while. But sure is a lot going on in this world. This so crazy world we're living in. Sure is a lot going on in this country we're living in. Sure is a lot going on with this election that's coming up in November. I think a lot of folks are going to be hurting after this election. I told you guys a long time ago, this election is going to be very interesting, and it is. So, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to skedaddle. I've kept you guys long enough. Hey, and as always, thank you guys for listening to This Is Just a Thought with Stephen Corner Gay. Amen.